Hello there, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Tomb Raider Chronicles. This is Jamie Clough Gaming. Now, we are on the second level, TRAJAN'S Market. I'm not sure quite how you pronounce that. It's Italian. I'm not Italian, obviously. I'm English, and I don't speak any other languages but my own. I know a few words of other languages, but I've got the crowbar. Now, if you notice, the crowbar in Chronicles is different to the one in Tomb Raider 4. The one in Tomb Raider 4 is a bit straighter. The one here is a bit more bent. And the one in Tomb Raider 3 is gigantic, and you have to keep picking it up again after its use. Which, thankfully, the ones in Tomb Raider 4 and 5, after each use, you don't have to pick it up again. You still got it in the inventory. And a lot of people have complained about the inventory system for Tomb Raider 4 because it became a streamlined version instead of a circle. Whereas personally, I actually prefer it like that. It's actually easier to navigate. You get there a lot quicker in my view, but aesthetically speaking, I think the ring menu from Tomb Raider 3 looks the best. But in terms of navigation, definitely, the straight menu is easier to use and quicker in reality. So there are pros and cons to both types of menu, and it's down to personal preference. And I can appreciate them both. Personally, for me, it doesn't matter too much what the menu for your inventory actually looks like, as long as you can navigate it. As long as you know what's in it, that's what matters. And here, I've spotted a secret. I can't get to it yet though, which might be a bit frustrating. Also, I can't go through here yet either. So I have to follow a very set path. You can go investigating these doors if you want. You'll find an item or two. You can't go through that one. To demonstrate, I know you can't go through that, I've always known that, but I'll demonstrate it here, just to demonstrate that you can't go through that. Just to show it off, basically. This is the one you can't go through. It can take quite a while to get through it. Well, not that long, but there's the rope mechanic. If you're having to crawl across this rope, I mean stand on top of it. What on earth am I on about? I do not know. I'm rabbiting on. I've had some Pepsi, and I think the commentary is flowing along a lot better than it was for Disney Racing. Believe it or not, so yeah. I don't know whether it's because it's harder to commentate for racing games than it is for an adventure style game like this one. I'd say that's nonsense, personally. It should be just the same, no matter what game you're doing. As long as you're doing the commentary, your commentary should be very similar. Yes. I think I do fall off here as well. Yeah. Could have done with having the flare here, it's a bit dark. Can hardly see what I'm doing at this point. But yes, and I do like the sunlight effects coming through the windows there, it's very authentic. And this level is very authentic. It's just missing a bit of excitement, is the word. It's a bit boring. Especially the second level with the church bells going off in the background. It's a bit boring sounding, to be honest. It's very authentic though, and I can definitely appreciate that. I fall off. I have to start all over again. Oh dear. And yeah, you notice that if you fall off different parts, it comes out different doors, and I really do like that. That's very good. It doesn't just send you back to the same area each time, which is authentic. I like that. That's realistic. Authenticity for the win then. Oh dear God. Oh God. And yet again, I'm failing at this point. I don't know what I'm on about, what I'm actually achieving. Not much. Not much. She keeps trying to fall off. Her arse is so heavy that you kept having to counteract it. Well, seriously, if you look at her arse in proportion to her waist, it's like ridiculous. That said, it's well, there are women in reality who do have, like Kim Kardashian, for example, who do have a much bigger arse than a waist. But hers is like cosmetically done, so that's not exactly a natural proportion to have. But people are free to do what they want with their own bodies. It's their choice, not mine. But I do like the lions there. It's a nice touch with the wings. That's what I'm here to point out. That's what I'm there for. And these are the games from my childhood. These are the games I enjoyed when I was growing up 20 years ago. So they all have a special place in my heart, even though they're not all great games, so to speak. But in terms of function, this game, although not the best Tomb Raider game, in terms of how it plays, there's certainly nothing wrong with that. It controls very well indeed. So I'd say you can pick it up and play it and learn most things within half an hour. So it might take some people a bit longer than that. But honestly, the problem with Angel of Darkness is that they tried to move the controls on while using a similar style, so that caused a bit of problems. Especially for the PC players, I'm led to believe, so that was the worst controlling version of the game. Just the PC version. And there's some flares. And being as this is a story-based game, the items don't carry over to the different stories. So if you collected loads of medipacks hoping, of course, to build up a game-wide collection, that won't happen with each area. It's a brand new story, so it resets your items. Even the medipacks don't carry over. And the medipacks are the same in every story. So you might have thought, oh, they'll carry over. No, they don't. You get a set of medipacks at the start of every story, which you can build on during that story. When that story finishes, you start afresh, so to speak. So that's what makes this game different from the first 4 games. You know what I mean about the backing track? It's almost too sleepy. You'd almost fall asleep to it. It's almost a bit too relaxed sounding. Oh yeah. I love this game. Fantastic. It's Tomb Raider Chronicles at its best. Although I'd argue that the best part of the story is when she moves to the next adventure after this, because it's a lot more fun, in my opinion. But IMO. When I first read IMO, I didn't know what the hell it meant. I had to actually look it up. It means, in my opinion, some people had an H, which means humble, in my humble opinion. But I don't bother. I don't think I've ever said IMO on a forum. Maybe else is IMO. No. I use 2BH, to be honest. It's quite a useful shortcut, the 3-letter abbreviation. And I use WTF, which means what the fuck, because I like that one. I've used that for years and years now. But what I like about the soundtrack on TRAJAN'S markets is it's very authentic, and you can hear like car noises, bird noises, the church bells. It's very authentic. And I'd say from Tomb Raider 3 onwards, the sound effects got a lot more authentic sounding. In Tomb Raider 1 and 2 it was a bit vague, but actually in the ship levels in Tomb Raider 2 it's very good, but they often reuse the same soundtrack. They often did that in the first 3 Tomb Raiders, and then obviously with an all new composer it changed things up a bit for Tomb Raider 4, The Last Revelation. Which, the fun fact about that game is it was supposed to be the last ever Tomb Raider game, hence the title, The Last Revelation. But obviously, you were never going to get away with killing a popular character off. It'd be like killing Sonic off or Super Mario, so they're never going to get away with killing Lara Croft off, so they had to make a game just less than 1 year later. I believe it was like 11 months later, so obviously this game is a bit rushed. But for what it is, if you're not expecting too much, you won't be disappointed, and that was my stance on the previous Let's Play I did. If you played CTR and you're expecting magical racing to rival it, don't expect that, just expect that game to be different. A decent car racer, yes, but with different qualities to it, and obviously not quite as long, so yeah. And I love this music. It's like a reused Tomb Raider 4 soundtrack. It's also reused in Angel of Darkness, but I'd forgotten about that until I heard. So I watched the Let's Play, like, oh, they used that sound in Tomb Raider 4, Tomb Raider 5, and of course Angel of Darkness. That's what makes it a classic, in my opinion. Oh dear. And of course the in-game Lara is the best, and it still is, in my opinion. Right, fun fact, in Tomb Raider, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, you actually can play as a retextured version of Tomb Raider 2 Lara, a retextured version of Tomb Raider Chronicles Lara, Tomb Raider Angel of Darkness Lara as well, which is a nice touch. At least you can actually do that. So when the fans of Tomb Raider actually complain that they don't care about the classics, they obviously do care to some extent, but the gameplay, the nuance, is completely different. So in that respect they're totally different. They're not connected at all, so to speak, but you know, there's benefits to that and there's drawbacks, obviously. I'm not going to go into that too much here, apart from the reference it briefly. Well, like the Beatles from Tomb Raider 4, in this game they're replaced with rats, and for the final level, spidery things, and they eat away at Lara's health briefly. They're not quite as bad as the Beatles from Tomb Raider 4, because they last for a lot longer, and they can absolutely kill you in no time at all. These aren't as tough as that, but they're still a pain in the ass nonetheless. I just love the soundtracks in this game. And if I was to get into doing something I actually wanted to do for a living, like in terms of what you don't have to do, like in terms of the dream job, I think it would be actually to produce soundtracks for video games, or designing Formula 1 cars. Either one of those. Be an aerodynamicist, I think that would be an interesting dream job. I'd actually design games themselves. To actually design a 3D game would be a lot harder. That's why most people who, just indie developers, will design 2D or 1D games, because that can be done realistically. And for some reason I have another look at this door, but it's still not open, so I don't know why I've done that. I'm just wasting time at this point, but and indeed this commentary. It's getting a bit on the late side to do commentary. What I say as a general rule is I don't do any after 11:30, let's say, because that's night. People go to sleep at night, believe it or not. Yes, they do. And here is, of course. Now, was this a second secret or the first one? And I love the secret noise from Tomb Raider 4 onwards. It was refined, and in my opinion, a lot better sounding. Yeah, that's the first secret of 3 of this level. This level, I do know where they all are, so I do get them, so to speak, but that's not the case with every level. Definitely not, because well, there's no way my brain would be able to retain all that information. That just is not how it works, so there's that. And there was one level I was kicking myself, because if I'd looked at a guide to basically see if there was a secret, I would have got all 3 secrets, but I didn't. I believe I got 2 of the 3, because I remembered where those were, and I convinced myself that there was a secret where there wasn't one, and that's why I missed it, because I got mixed up. If you do that, you do tend to miss them. And it's good to check that. You do get plenty of ammo for your revolver, and you end up with like loads, and there's no way that you'll actually need to use all that, but never mind. So from 4 it gets a bit more generous with ammunition and medipacks than the previous 3, but I have a good look at his face, and I think he himself is a reused texture from Tomb Raider 1 in the crease levels. I think he's a slightly modified version of the one used in Tomb Raider 1, which is pretty cool. In my opinion, if they reuse things from the older games, gives a bit of that nostalgic feel. Not that this game isn't on its own nostalgic. Now here is the most challenging thing in this game that I've encountered so far. In the early stages, the spider that shoots green lasers from its eyes. So, what am I going to do? I bet you can guess. Drop a save. It's a bit disappointing that I only have 2 slots, but can't be helped because of the memory card situation. I could use another memory card, but I'd have to delete several of the classic saves. I probably won't do that. I probably won't bother doing it. I'll probably just order a new PS1 memory card and then use that for the remaining Tomb Raiders. Yeah. When he starts at you, have to jump out of his way, and if you do that, you won't get hit. And if you do get hit, you instantly die. So as a throwback to some of those bosses in Tomb Raider 3 that shot green stuff at you, and if you got hit, it would actually set Lara on fire and should die instantly, like that. I think I just got to demonstrate what happens when you get got, because I think it's pretty easy in general to avoid this guy's lasers, not like the guys in Tomb Raider 3, where the final boss, where it was home, and so whatever you did to avoid it, if you fired it, you got, and that was it, you're dead. So this is a bit more forgiving than that, thankfully. But and if you look closely at this guy, he's more like an octopus, really, than a spider, and he has a Roman soldier head. That's what's the funny thing about him. And what you have to do here, you have to shoot out his eyes. Here I shot one of them out, but he got me with the other one. I died again. So And the drawback with the PS1 version is obviously the loading times are a lot longer than the PC version, but you do get some beautiful screens like Lara herself here, which on the PC version you wouldn't get because it instantly loads. And that's the major advantage of it. And I like the little loading screen there, the circular thing. Why I've done a circular motion there. You can't see me doing this. I don't know why I did that. Pointless. What's there? Do I get in here? And that's all it. That's his beat out. I've shot his eye out. He's history, and you do need to kill him. Because he has one of the symbols that you need to put in that place that was in the cutscene with the dragon's heads. So, you do need to kill him, yeah. The thing that was hilarious about one of the Let's Plays of this game, which was a blind one, they didn't know that you had to kill the spider, and they didn't find out for ages. And they were trying to do things in a really haphazard manner, and they kept getting got. It was hilarious, but obviously me having played this game before, pretty much for 20 years I've known that you had to kill him by shooting out his eyes with the revolver and the laser sight, so essentially actually pick up the laser sight. Unfortunately, the laser sight doesn't carry over into the next adventure. And it should do, because you do get it in the next adventure. But you don't get the revolver in the next adventure. I've got 2 out of 3 secrets there. You don't get the revolver in the next adventure. You get the Desert Eagle in the next adventure. The reused texture from 2 out of 3, but you actually get to combine it with the laser sight, so it acts as that level's version of the revolver. And it has the same sound files when it shoots, so it's pretty much the same gun. It looks different, and it's also compatible with the laser sight, which was pretty cool, to be honest. I'll give them props for that. Because, but you can tell it's the reused texture of 2 out of 3. 2 out of 3's Desert Eagle, so it's pretty cool, yeah. Though I do believe they've retextured the ammunition, updated it a bit and made it a bit smaller for this game. And this is good. She gets to go in the sewer and explore. Silent Hill-esque, but not really at the same time, because it's not quite as scary as the sewer in Silent Hill. The big green lizards that jump out at you. The worst thing you encounter here is rats. I'm just gonna check how long this actually is. Alright, there's not long to go. There's not long to go. And it's not too late that I can't record, but it's heading that way. So, yeah. You can't go at the bottom because there's a fan that pushes you back and acts as a current that you can't swim through, so you've got to collect a wheel. There's a fan over there. That one isn't active though, so you can go right up to that without fear of being sucked in. And there's a similar system in a Tomb Raider 3 level, so they do bring back some classic elements from the previous games in this game, albeit very briefly, but each adventure works in its own way, I'd say, except that the last adventure in the game is a lot harder than the previous 3. That feels a bit unbalanced, to be honest, but I can appreciate that the atmosphere is totally different on the last adventure. There's some shotgun shells, let's pick those up. I don't know why I crawled to pick them up, that was not necessary. Crowbar, the good old crowbar, it's one of the most handy things in this game, to be honest, because and given that as an area, as a thing you get in the second level set as well, I don't know why that doesn't carry over. And it would be nice if the medipacks did carry over, but that wouldn't make sense in historical terms. But what doesn't make sense really is that the medipacks are the same in each adventure in terms of the type of medipacks. It would have been more thoughtful if that wasn't the case, but obviously they didn't have time to make them too different. They could have just used retextured ones from the previous games, and that would have added some authenticity. But with the development time being what it was, that was probably never going to be even remotely considered. So they've just reused the Tomb Raider 4 medipacks, which were 3D models and a lot more impressive than the first 3 games, admittedly. So now I've got my wheel, and put it on this generator, and then I'm going to turn it. That brings back an element from Tomb Raider 3, Antarctica. It was a Valve puzzle, and this is very reminiscent of that. But this level, being as it is sort of more reminiscent of Tomb Raider 1, with obviously a bit of Tomb Raider 4 thrown in the graphics department. But she didn't go to she didn't go to university. She did go to university. She didn't go to university in any of the games. What I was trying to say there is she didn't go to Rome in Tomb Raider 1, but trying to Greece. Culturally, that's very similar to Rome, albeit not the same. But the Romans did conquer Greece and they conquered Egypt as well. So they went everywhere. They conquered pretty much everywhere except for the Far East. I don't think they actually bothered to go into China there. From what I know, anyway, as the Chinese had very strong armies themselves that were formidable. And so did many countries. But yeah, and here's another fan. And what I've got to do here is I've got to stop that fan so I can progress in the next area. I thought you could get in that doorway there, but I think it's just a window. I don't think you can actually get in there. I like false memories of going in there that just aren't true, because obviously there's nowhere through. There's another generator. And you see what I mean? This is very similar to bits of Tomb Raider 3. And I mean, they repeatedly turn valve wheels. It's a nice touch. If you notice, sometimes I do pause. That's to take photographs of the area, because the capture card can do that, and that's a nice touch. I really like that. And I've turned the fans off. I can now progress into the next area, if you like, which is the boss fight, another boss fight. There are 3 boss fights. No, scratch that, there are 4 boss fights in this level. But one of them's Larson, so it's not too difficult to beat him. I don't even know if he would count as a boss fight, because it's like a brief encounter. Well, you fight him a few times in this story mode, so I guess it is a boss fight. But just not as tough as all of the other boss fights. I got the shotgun finally. Oh yeah, I have it for 2 levels though. This is this is the end of this part, so I'll say take care, and I'll see you very, very soon.